Hello everyone, Lori Marie here, mixed media artist in Vallejo, California. I've been playing with some stencils. We're going to play with stencils in the class this week, so I thought I'd get a head start and kind of get some techniques down that are easy to understand. So I started off with the, I'm going to show you this. This is a stencil right here. The bird is the stencil. And then the second part of the stencil I did with some glue and some foil, that transfer foil. So that's one. Here's another one. I'll put it in front of my face. This is a stencil. So all the black is the stencil work. And then again for the face I used spray glue with the transfer foil. Okay. And the one that I'm going to work on today is Rosie the Riveter. A little bit more involved. The other ones I was using were just a 2-part. This is a 3-part, which actually will graduate, I think, into a 4-part, but we shall see. So we are going to get right on it, and you'll need a stencil from the internet. You can download a stencil, download 2 of them, or 3 of them, depending on how many layers you're going to be making. And cut those out, and the rest you'll see on the table. See you there. Okie doke, welcome back. We are going to be doing this in a few different segments. So I will show you what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to go do it, and then I'll show you what I've done. So I'm going to use this Rosie stencil, and it actually is going to have 3 layers. 1 layer with her entirety, 1 layer with the highlights, and then 1 layer with the holes in her, or the dots in her scarf. So that's how I'm going to be using this. If you have just a 2-layer, kudos to you, but I'm just pushing my comfort zone a little bit, and I'm working in a 3-level stencil. So what you're going to do first is, of course, make your copies. I have 3 copies made. I just did them on my laser printer here at home, which is just a black and white, which was perfect. Then I'm going to take a piece of cardboard or cardstock or something that has a little bit of sturdiness to it, and I'm going to glue with Mod Podge my stencil onto that cardboard, and then I'm going to cut it out. So 3 different pieces of cardboard that I'm going to glue these onto because I want 3 levels of my stencil. Okie dokie. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and cut those out now, and then I'll bring you back to the table, okay? Alright. Alright everybody, I did sneak out into the garage, and I did use the very first piece to go ahead and start the stencil. I'll show you that in a moment. But this is the first piece that I cut out, and I'm going to call this the base. So if we go back to the image, grab that. For the base, you just go around the outer edge completely and cut that out. I use an X-Acto blade, make sure it's sharp, and then that's what I did. Okie dokie, I just cut the base out. And then the next one that I'll go paint in a moment, this one has the highlights taken out. Can you see that? Do we need something dark behind there so that you can see that a little bit better? Maybe this will work. So I went in and I took out all the dark edges, if you will. All of these areas. And in her scarf I just took the whole hunk out. But I went in and cut those highlights out. And that's how that stencil looks, okay? And then for the third one, since I'm doing some dots on her scarf, I just went in with that. And I just went in with my crocodile, which has 2 different hole sizes. So I just went in and punched some holes in her scarf. So that'll be the third. Welcome back. So here's my substrate that's about the same size as my stencil, so that I don't have too much background showing, which will be nice. And I'm going to take some old book pages, and I'm going to put some underpants on this substrate. So if you have some yummy old pages, All you have to do is just remove the edge that doesn't have much interest on it. These are really fragile pages. And I just removed that white edge. You can save that for another project that maybe you might be using a typewriter on. And just take those edges off, okay? And then you've got all text to work with. So I'll take these pieces of page and I'll just rip them in half. This is what I'm going to use for the underpants. And then with Mod Podge, I'm just going to glue them around the edge of around the entire substrate, leaving an edge so that I can fold it over and cover the edge of the wood. Okay? So with Mod Podge, just put your Mod Podge down and your page, Mod Podge on top, and continue on. So let me do that. You don't need to watch me do that. Let me do that and we'll come back, okay? Okie dokie, I wanted to just bring you back when I did this last layer of book text. So I just put Mod Podge down. Piece of a book page, make sure that it hangs over some. I don't have a real fat substrate, so it doesn't have to be too big of a piece, but all these are loose edges around here so that I can wrap that substrate. I took pages out of an old book that I can alter, because if you've followed the altered book video, then you remember we removed some pages to make room for it to be not such a fat book, but we love fat books anyway. So I just went through that book and sporadically removed some of the pages. And I will save that for an altered book project. Alright, so that's how I Mod Podge these down. Then I'll turn it over when it's a little bit drier. I'll flip it over and then edge it. Okie doke. See you in a few. We're going to play with the background real quick. So as you can see, my substrate, my wood substrate, has the text underpants on it. Then I just put a real light coat of the white gesso, just a real light coat to give it, well, it protects the pages so that the pages aren't so absorbent, and then also it gives it a bite. But we are going to be playing with the same technique that we did for the celerity background with the watercolors. So I'm going to just get my background, my substrate wet, because we do work wet on wet for this background. You're going to need some watercolors and a piece of saran wrap that you can scrunch up. I just have real simple watercolors from Michael's. And then what I did is I just put some water in the 3 colors that I was going to use so that it started to get nice and juicy, because I want a dense color in there. I'm going to use this kind of magenta color. Go about halfway down. And then I'm going to use, it's kind of like a teal, I guess, on the lower half. You want some nice dense colors, even though it's watercolor. You still want some nice dense color. That's why I add the water to it first. Otherwise I don't get as much color as I want. Okie dokie. Just drag that around the edges a little bit, blend it in. Next, you'll put down your saran wrap. You want it kind of crinkly because you're going to be making some ridges in it. Just lay that onto your piece, encouraging some folds in there. And then with a darker color, this is a little bit harder to show you because I have to stand it up. I think we can still see though. I have a purple color that I'm going to drip down those fun wrinkles. So I'm just going to hit the edge with that and let that drip down. So you need enough water on your watercolor so that it will drip down. And I'm going to do two sides with this. At least that is the intention. Need enough water in that watercolor to make it kind of dribbly. So you can see how it starts to follow those creases here. I think I'll put a little bit more. See if I can't get that to drip down a little further. Oh yeah, that's riding all the way down. Can you see that? That's what I'm looking for. That's beautiful. And then I'm going to do this side. I guess you can see better like this, huh? If I hold it like this, you can see better. So I used a teal and like a magenta, and then I'm going back in with a purple, the darkest colors for the dribbles, in this piece anyway. That is gorgeous. All right, I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to go walk the dog, let that dry, and then we will move on to the stencil. That's exciting. All right, we're back. The lighting might be a little bit different. I started the video about 5 this morning. It's about 9ish now. I got my shower, walk the dog, all that kind of stuff. So I'm bringing you back. I put the base stencil down, and I darkened the circles, the holes on the side, so I can line up the next stencil. And then what I used was magnets to hold it in place. So there's a magnet on the back and a magnet on the top, and it holds the stencil down quite firmly. You can use pennies. I've used pennies before, and this is what I'm going to use in my class because I don't have enough magnets to go around for everyone. But on this particular piece, I was able to put the magnets around, hold everything down. I'm going to go spray this in the studio, and then I will show you about the second piece, okay? All right, hang in there. I know there's a lot of steps. All right, I chose white for the base this time. I've done it in black, but I chose white for the base this time. Look at those little magnets coming right off. They are so awesome. Oh, that one's not so awesome. And I'm going to lift that stencil straight up. Oh, isn't that cool? That is pretty cool. Love the background on that too. Alrighty, I'm going to let this dry, and then we will go in and do the same thing with the middle stencil. Match up my holes to the holes that were on the last one. Put the magnets around. And I'll spray paint this. I don't know what color yet. Probably black, but I don't know yet. We'll see when I get out to the garage as to what my choices are. And then after I have this piece on, and after that piece dries, then I'm going to put the holes in her, the dots on her scarf with the magnets, keeping the stencil down, okay? So I won't see you again until that's complete. Base, the highlights, and the third one with the dots. So, all right, see you in a few. Let me go play with this one. Well, here she is, all finished. She's not dry yet, but she is finished. So I went around the edges and I stabiloed her after I did all of the stencils. I did end up making a final stencil just for the hair because I wanted the hair, or the scarf, I'm sorry, the scarf to be a different color. So I actually used 4 stencils on her. One for the base, one for the turquoise, one for the red, and then one for the turquoise dots. So it got a little bit more involved than I thought it was going to, but I decided I wanted her scarf to be red. So there you have it. Then I went in and stabiloed, and then I topped it off with the triple thick. So that's what's not dry yet, is the triple thick, but that'll give her a nice shiny glaze finish. So there you have it. Kind of involved, but she was worth it. She's very fun. So go create, go play, go have fun. If you haven't, please subscribe. I need some subscribers out there. Come on, push the red button. All right, go play.